And welcome back. We're pleased to be joined in studio from the team of Dodgers Nation, Clint Pasillas and Brooke Smith from Dodgers Nation. It's the Bible. I always call it the Bible for Dodger fans. Thanks for joining us. Let's start where we've been starting every week, and that is the state of the team, how they're playing. They look great in Milwaukee. We saw the highlights. What do you make of what you've seen so far from this team, Clint?
Oh, I guess I'll take that. Yeah, they seem to always want to play up to the lower rung teams, and you want to win. You got to win against those guys. But seeing the way they keep struggling against some of those kind of, let's call them playoff contenders, it's a little bit of struggle. You don't want to see that so much this early in the season, but luckily, you're still seeing the team get healthy. You're still seeing the bullpen kind of figure itself out, and that's been a big problem, I think. Kind of the bullpen. Of course, yesterday you have Maeda. Not the greatest game, we'll say, but I'm looking forward to tonight. I think it's going to be pretty good.
I mean, 7th best starting rotation in the National League, not anything to really write home about or anything. 10th worst bullpen or 10th best bullpen, depending on how you look at it. Got to get their pitching staff figured out. They do play well against the bad teams, which is good. That's what you need. But you got to play a little bit better against those playoff caliber teams.
Yeah, and Milwaukee's not. It seems like Milwaukee doesn't have quite the pitching that they had in the past.
Right.
How about Cody Bellinger? I asked the question last week. Can he continue this hot streak? It seems like he can. I mean, he's having an MVP-like season.
He is. I wasn't necessarily sold on it the first week of the season, to be honest with you, just because of how he's done in the past, ups and downs. But you look at those, deeper numbers, and you really start to see the biggest thing is that this year against the breaking ball, he's hitting like 600 against off-speed pitches versus like 250 in his career. And I think that's been the biggest thing. He's cut his strikeout rate in half. He's not chasing those balls down and in at his back foot, those back foot sliders, and he's hitting left-handed pitching. I mean, what more can you ask from the guy, really?
And the defense, you see the defense hit wherever you put him, you're getting plus defense, you're getting gold glove caliber defense. And then now you look at the end of the season, if he keeps it up, and we'll knock on glass here, he keeps it up, where do you give him the gold glove? Maybe I'm getting a little further out there, but yeah, it's been really fun to see the transformation of this kid in now his 3rd season.
I mean, I think MVP talk, it's got to be Bellinger and Yelich are right there.
People are always comparing those two guys, and Major League Baseball likes to boost Yelich a little bit more, maybe just because he doesn't quite get the same spotlight as LA does, but Bellinger's right up there, man. I think those are the 2 best guys in the league right now.
All right, we talk about Clayton Kershaw, and we knew he wasn't going to be as dominant as we've seen him in past years, but so far, pretty good.
I like the numbers. We talked a little bit about him using his slider a lot more and how dangerous we thought that might be. His 2nd start, he went back to using the fastball a little bit more. And he got caught, a few times on it, but he actually, he is one of the league's best in his first 2 starts in hard hit percentage. People aren't hitting the ball hard off of him as much as you would think he might be, with averaging only 90 miles an hour on his fastball.
Well, he touched 92 on the fastball.
He did, yeah, which is extremely encouraging for a guy that was hitting 88, 89 when he was throwing his rehab starts. So you look at that combined with the fact that he's throwing his curveball a little bit more than he did last year. It's really encouraging, and he's getting a lot more swings and misses than he has, especially in the past 2 years.
Yeah, he's going to keep giving you what he's got, and I think this is what you're going to get out of Kersh, and that's not a bad Kershaw to have. That's a guy you want as your number 2 guy eventually in a couple of years behind Bellinger or behind Buehler, and that's going to be a fun rotation to watch with Urias eventually in there. You got Dustin May somewhere down the road. There's a lot of really, really high-quality arms, and Kershaw's still there to lead the pack with that veteran presence, as we call it.
Dustin May looked great in spring training.
Oh, yeah.
Rich Hill, getting healthier. It sounds like he's going to be back on Sunday against the Pirates. What does that do for this bullpen?
Yeah, it's definitely a trickle-down effect. I mean, you look at guys like, probably Ross Stripling is going to be the guy that moves back into that long relief role that he's so used to bouncing back and forth with. Him and Brock Stewart have kind of been those swing guys for the past couple years, and I think he'll go back to that. Rich Hill, obviously phenomenal in his rehab outing, phenomenal against his, hitting an against extended spring training. I think he had like 16 strikeouts or something ridiculous against those kids. But getting Stripling back in that pen, getting some of those guys some more rest. Stripling's a reliable reliever, and he's a guy that you can turn to, and I think that's going to just do wonders for the bullpen.
Yeah, absolutely. It's fascinating because you think about Urias being out in that bullpen and what he's able to do. That adds a new dimension, if you will, guys. We appreciate it. We thank you for coming in the studio, and you can follow Dodgers Nation all season long on their site, DodgersNation.com, and on Twitter at Dodgers Nation. Instagram, official Dodgers Nation. Their podcast, Blue Heaven, drops every Thursday. Clint and Brooke, we thank you guys for coming in and joining us.